On March 4th, I had just returned from an all-day training session in Cleveland, and drove home. A drive that usually takes 2 hours took 4. When I got home, I just slept on the couch because I felt as though something was happening and I wasn't sure quite what it was, and I didn't want to wake up my wife. I stayed on the couch, and then at 3 o'clock in the morning, I woke up. And when anybody over 40 wakes up at 3 o'clock in the morning, there's one place they got to go. You're right. Well, I stumbled my way to the restroom, and when I got there, I went to turn on the light switch. Nothing seemed to happen. I turned towards the mirror, and when I looked in the mirror, I still couldn't see any light. I couldn't see anything but a little bit of light in the slits, bottom slits of my eyes. To this day, this eye doesn't open, but the left eye didn't open either. I ended up being rushed to the emergency room, where they quickly, not so quickly, after hours and hours of tests, they determined that I had this cavitous malformation, and it had bled, putting pressure on the nerves that control my vision. The doctor comes in and he says, "Mr. Wagner, I'm afraid you're going to have brain surgery." Brain surgery? We've talked about this in the past. You told me never to let anyone operate on my brainstem. Mr. Wagner, I'm sorry, that's true. But the problems you have are only going to become worse and more frequent. Worse and more frequent. That's what I heard for the next 27 days. Until on April 1st, no fooling, of 2011, I had brain surgery in Phoenix, Arizona. When I came back from there, I thought that I was going to be back to normal. I thought that I was going to have my sight back, only to realize that I don't have my sight back. It's not back to where it was before, but my vision is better than it's ever been. Have you ever had a situation where you had something bad happen to you, but what came out of it was so much better? That's what's happened. It's caused us to form what's called a radical vision. A radical vision is a company that helps people to embrace their own personal blindness to achieve a greater vision for their lives. Now, it would have been called Radical Vision, but Radical Vision was taken for URL, the whole radicalvision.com. So I went with A Radical Vision. It's also caused me to think about other things that I could create. Things that we could create in terms of, BrianWithOneEye.com. It's a real URL, and I really have it. So you can't have it. You can't have it. There's other URLs that we've also created. I mean, it's been very, very interesting how this whole process has allowed us to be able to help other people to see things that they aren't seeing, to see things that they should be, but they're just not. We've even written a book. And the book is based on my story of having brain surgery and coming back from it and helping other people to embrace their own personal blindness. The book is titled, "Sometimes It Does Take a Brain Surgeon." It's what it took me. So what can you learn from this? What does this mean to you? Think about some things that you can learn in terms of this story, that you don't have to have brain surgery, because I don't want that to happen. But what can you learn? Learn how taking action sometimes makes us feel better. Sometimes taking action doesn't always work out as you would hope, but taking action is only going to help. It's only going to help in the future, because you're going to be able to do so much more. You're going to be able to take that next step to go farther than where you are today. If you don't take action, you're going to stay where you are. That's for sure. The other thing that you can learn from this is to laugh, even when you don't feel like it. Laughter is the magical drug, because if you can laugh, it'll mean so much more to your life, because you're going to be able to give to other people that same laugh. And sometimes your laugh is different than other people's. So sometimes you laughing makes other people laugh because they think your laughter is so stupid. But it doesn't matter. Laugh, smile. Those are important things to do. Then I told you how we had to find the right solution. We went to 3 different hospitals, and actually the doctor in Phoenix was the first doctor that I had to choose from, but there was other doctors that I could have chosen from as well. But what's important for you to remember is that you need to either find the right solution or be the right solution. Because you have customers. You have customers that want to be able to move forward. And they want to move forward with you. But if you're not the right one, you don't have the services that are necessary for that person to move forward, you're not going to be able to do it. So you want to be able to recommend them to somebody else. You want to recommend them to the right solution.